Hi, this is our comparative anatomy comparison of a rat versus a grass frog. My name is Adriana Martinez Diaz.
My name is Angela Bongolan.
My name is Noemi Montiel-Castro.
And my name is Lily Garfield.
And this is our presentation. So we have broken our presentation up into 2 points. So this is our table of contents, and it's going to be part of animal background and animal anatomy. For animal background, it's going to cover taxonomic comparison, ecological habitats, food chain comparison, and mating pattern comparison.
The second part of the presentation is animal anatomy. It will cover digestive system, excretory system, reproductive system, circulatory system, and locomotion.
This is the animal background. The taxonomic comparison between a rat and a frog. For example, for rat, it's kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Sarcopterygidae, order Radatia, family Muridae, genus Rattus. Alongside with frog, kingdom Amelia, phylum Chordata, class of Amphibia, order Anura, family Renidae, genus Rana. So in this case, the kingdom as well as the phylum are the same thing as well. The only differences is the class, order, family, and genus. So for the ecological habitat, Rattus norvegicus, the biotic factors that they're able to survive on any supply of food, preyed by many other animals to keep their numbers in check. The abiotic factors is that they prefer temperate temperatures, or maybe that they occupy many parts of the animal human activity. So basically like humans where they would usually stay. And then they're commonly found, the Rattus norvegicus, amongst every continent excluding colder climate areas.
So the next is ecological habitat of Rana forari. The biotic factors include them eating almost every insect, such as beetles, flies, and mosquitoes. They also eat fruits and vegetables, which may come as a shock, and the presence of predators help them to keep them in check and not to overflow their ecosystems. The abiotic factors include temperature, humidity, which is what they prefer because they are cold-blooded, they are adapted to the cold. They could also stay in elevations up to 3,350 meters, and they also prefer damp environments, which is why they are mostly and commonly found in southern parts of Mexico, such as Nicaragua, northern Costa Rica, and as well as Salinas and Jalisco. And they also prefer aquatic habitats such as ponds, streams, lakes, and swamps. So the next slide is about the food chain. So for the rat, it is a secondary consumer because it eats insects too. Their predators are hawks, foxes, and owls, and sometimes humans, depending on where they're living. They also consume plant and animal foods, discarded human food, and aquatic animals such as fish, which may also come as a shock, but they have been found near ponds and stuff trying to like grab fishes. And for the frogs, they are also secondary consumers. They are predator and they are prey. For the predators, they are fish, snakes, raccoons, and otters, and they consume woodlice, mosquitoes, beetles, and snails.
For mating patterns for rats, they're polynandrous, meaning that cooperative breeding. They prefer to mate in warmer months and can breed up to 7 times per year, as well as have their offsprings ranging to 2 to 14. Hence, wise for frogs, they rely on mating trills as their for their mating. It lasts up to 1.5 to 2 seconds, and they prefer to mate during early springs in the evenings and can produce up to 20,000 eggs.
Animal anatomy. So this is our next chapter, and we're going to continue on. So for rat anatomy, as you can see, this is for our actual dissection in class. So I'm only going to be naming what we found or what we saw in class. So for the respiratory system, as you can see, we were only able to see the lungs and a bit of the trachea. And then for the digestive system, we were only able to see like the small and big intestine, stomach, and liver. And then for reproductive system, we were able to see the female rat. This is really not really visible. It's actually further deeper, and we didn't get to uncover that. For the nervous system, we were able to see absolutely nothing because, like again, it's very intertwined, and so it's not something you can really actually visibly see unless you're like Superman. You really can't see that. And then for the locomotion, well, we know that it has 4 feet and a tail for balance. And then for the frog anatomy, for the respiratory system, we know that the skin is part of the respiratory system, including the lungs, as you can see, they're a little visible right there, and the lining of the mouth. For the digestive system, we can see that the small and the big intestines, the liver and stomach. For the reproductive system, we weren't able to see like the ovaries or the ovary ducts, but we were able to see the eggs that were visible are part of the reproductive system. And then for the nervous system, again, it's very intertwined, so it's very hard to capture and see. But for the locomotion, we were able to see the 4 legs.
For the digestive system comparison, for the rat, we saw that the stomach is larger than the frogs. The rat intestines are bigger than the frogs. It has a similar semi-lunar shaped sac with composite lining, as well as does not have a gallbladder. Okay, for the frog, digestion begins in the mouth. Has no teeth. Liquid and solid waste exit through the cloaca and cloaca vent. Takes 24 hours to digest.
So for the excretory comparison, for the rats, their kidneys are their primary organs, and they're located toward the back on either side of the spine. They're also located outside the coleum, and it consists of the cortex and inner medulla. The urea is formed in the liver, then to the kidney. Compared to the frog, the kidney is in lymph spaces above the coleum, and it is attached on either side of the vertebral column. And for tadpoles, they have pronephros, and adults have mesonephros, and it has a cloaca. And frogs produce urea as their excretion product, which is also known as uratilism.
For the reproductive system comparison, overall, the rat and the frog have very similar reproductive system. Sorry. As you can see, they both have ovaries. For male and female, for male they have testes, and then fertilization occurs when both sperm and egg meet, which creates the zygote. But overall, the only differences you can actually see is the rats are mammalian, so they have gastrational periods, which means that they actually like carry their baby to term, in comparison to frogs, where they're amphibians, so they lay their eggs and they will let them sit until they become tadpoles. And besides that, the actual difference in anatomy wise, like the only difference would be that the testes for a frog will be inside internal, in comparison to a rat would be external, so would be on the outside.
So for the circulatory system, both the frog and the rat have closed circulatory systems. The rat has a 4-chambered heart, which includes the left and right atriums and the left and right ventricles, but the frog only has a 3-chambered heart, which contains the left and right atrium and 1 ventricle. They both have 1 heart, and the frog also has a 3 circulation circuit. And as for the nervous system, one of the main differences is that the rat has 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 3 pairs of spinal nerves, whereas the frog has 10 pairs of cranial nerves. For the frog, the brain is covered in 2 meninges, and its sympathetic nervous system consists of 2 longitudinal nerve chains. And the rat has white matter, which is axons, but not gray matter, which is the nerve cell bodies and dendrites. For the rat's locomotive system, it contains stepping, and it's an innate quadrupedal, but can walk bipedally. It's vertical oscillations and side-to-side fluctuations, a crouched posture, as well as the increase to lateral spine movements, is what gives it the processes to walk. And for the frog, it has more so of a stepping and frog kicking movements, which alternates and in synchronous bursts of hind limbs. And by doing this, it uses the hind legs to flex, the back arches upwards, and hind legs extend vertically. With the extension of the femur, the frog leaps into the air.
This concludes our presentation, and here is our works cited.